My name is Barry Haarde. I'm 48 years old. I live and work in Houston, Texas. I have severe hemophilia type A. I'm also a former member of the 3H Club, which is HIV and hepatitis C. I was fortunate enough to cure the hep C a few years ago. I'm also a amateur cyclist. I've gotten a few questions about what business does a severe hemophiliac have getting on a bicycle and riding across the country. I adhere to a every other day prophylactic dosing schedule when I'm on one of these long tours. 2,900 miles from Costa Mesa to Savannah, Georgia. And this is a fundraising effort for a Save One Life organization which provides financial assistance to people with hemophilia living in developing countries who do not have access to factor concentrates or, in many cases, even basic medical necessities.
Hello, I'm Emmanuel. I'm 26 years old and I come from Ghana and I have hemophilia. So I didn't have access to factors. I didn't have access from the beginning I didn't have access to even plasma. So I was being treated on whole blood until I got my doctors pushed for the blood bank to start making plasmas for me. So then I got plasma, but then it wasn't sufficient because I was being given the plasma on demand basis, so I had to have a bleed before they would make some for me. So in 2010, the Ghana Hemophilia Society was formed by the initiative of Mr. Martin Boache, who had his son die from hemophilia. He actually brought the son here to the USA, but then he still didn't survive. And then when he had a second son, he brought him here too, and he met Laurie, who helped him get doctors to take care of him, so he survived. And he came back home and he realized we have this problem there, but people didn't have the kind of resources he does. So he decided to form a society, and through the support of Laurie Kelly, we formed one. So after college, I happened to manage the society to first of all identify the patients. Yeah, doing that, and then at a point we got Save One Life coming in to come and help out. So Martha came down to Ghana and I sent her around 3 regions, and we traveled for about 2 days. And she met a couple of patients to kind of relate to what patients go through. So the first trip, for instance, I sent her to a place. It's not so remote by Ghanaian standards, but we have to drive for about 3 hours in a 4-wheeler, and then she really got to appreciate how far people have to drive to access basic hemophilia care, because they didn't have that 3 hours away, and the roads were bad, and we had a 4-wheel drive, but she still felt how bad the road was. And these were people who didn't have the means to come to the hospital. So I helped Martha draw up the program together with Mr. Martin Boache for the Save One Life project in Ghana before I left and came to the other project Share was helping me. I'm here because of those efforts, which I believe are all linked to Save One Life one or the other. Because if the patients are not alive, you can't help them with all the other things. It's good thing. And when I went around to those people in those villages, I realized that I was very privileged, because I was living an hour away from the hospital and I still couldn't access healthcare. But we went to places where people live 5 hours away from any form of a major. We actually have only 2. At the point, we had only 2 major hospitals in Ghana who had plasma. Because if you have a patient who is making less than $2 a day, they don't have a refrigerator, and then you even get factors to them through another means, a donation to them, they can't store the factors. So these little contributions you make here go a long way to support these families, to transport the patients to the hospital, to help them set up, get a refrigerator to just store the factors, to get ice for the patients when they bleed, the basic things that could make your life, change your life and make you live a better life.
What are your plans for your life?
For my life, I'm in graduate school now. Professionally, I plan to go into academia after school, because I believe I had to take my health into perspective, and it will be a lesser toll on me physically if I work in academia than if I go into industry. So yeah, that's what I want to do. And then I always want to keep in touch with the hemophilia societies, groups around, and help others in the best ways I can, and try to use the knowledge I have of what others are going through and what I also went through to help improve care everywhere I go.
So where is your education right now?
Right now, I have a bachelor's in chemical engineering. I'm in graduate school working on a PhD in chemical engineering.
Well, thank you for being willing to do this interview.
Thank you for the opportunity.
So I kind of fished around and I thought about who I might want to do it for. And I'd already been introduced to Lori Kelly. I knew she was something of a fitness nut herself, and is now a confirmed cyclist. I'll never forget sitting down and firing it off an email to Lori and proposed what I then thought was the preposterous suggestion of riding a bike across America as a fundraiser for her organization. I fully expected that she would reply by saying, "Are you crazy and are you nuts, and there's no way we're going to do this." Counter to my expectations, she wrote back saying, "Do you really think you can do it? And if so, I love it. Let's do it."
Aren't you really just trying to get rich and famous?
Unfortunately, I get paid nothing to do these. I probably fork out a few thousand myself to do them. I joke with people, I spend more money keeping my bike on the road than I do on my 11-year-old truck and my 17-year-old
Aren't you just trying to convince all of our little bleeders to go out and bleed by getting on bicycles and riding real fast and crashing and trying to be another Barry Haarde?
The interesting and counterintuitive thing that I discovered was that the more I ride, probably the less I bleed. I started riding quite a few years ago as a result of a total knee replacement in 1999.
Barry, is your brother riding with you?
Yeah, somebody once asked me what I use as a nutritional supplement or what I had in my water bottles to fuel my efforts. And I kind of wryly observed that I say that there are times when I'm out there on the road when I can, I feel my brother, I feel my brother-in-law. They, like me for so many years, were silent, afraid to come out of the closet, afraid they might lose their jobs, lose their access to health insurance. About 5 years ago, I was not planning to ride a bicycle across America. I was, in fact, making out my will because I thought I was not going to survive hepatitis C. But I managed to prove my doctors wrong on that one.